Welcome to the Environmental Learning Center. I'm Miss Heather, this is Miss Rosemary, and this is Miss Sarah. We're going to help you guys have lots of fun and explore the Environmental Learning Center. You're going to be scientists when you come out for the day, studying plants, animals, and soils. This video is going to help you learn how to prepare for your trip, as well as kind of give you a sneak preview of what's going to happen on the day of your visit. So come on in. Hey guys, when you arrive at the ELC, we're going to greet you and the bus is right here. But there's a lot you need to do before you get here. First of all, the evening before your trip, please get a really good night's sleep. We're going to be all over the place out here and you're going to need lots of energy. Make sure you eat a good breakfast. That's going to give you energy as well. Please don't wear any clothes that you'd be upset if they got a little bit dirty. And you absolutely must wear closed-toed shoes. So no Crocs, no sandals, no flip-flops. The reason we ask you to do this is because we go into the pond for the pond study. We want to keep your feet nice and protected. Teachers, please remember you may bring up to 3 chaperones for this adventure. And all of the students need to have sturdy, legible name tags for the day. So part of what you're going to be doing during the day is learning all about plants, germination, and photosynthesis. And at the ELC, we have some really special plants called mangroves. One of the reasons these trees are so special is the fact that they can actually drink brackish water. Do you remember what brackish means? It's a mixture of salt water and fresh water together. So these trees can actually deal with the salt water, which most plants cannot do. And these plants are special in other ways as well. And we're going to head down George's Trail and find out why. So come on with me. There are 3 kinds of mangroves in Florida: the white mangrove, the black mangrove, and the red mangrove. The white mangrove usually grows farthest from the water. And I have one right here for you to see. This is a white mangrove. Check out the leaves, but check out these very special kinds of seedlings. Actually, they're called propagules. Can you say that word? It's basically a baby tree growing on the adult tree. And you're going to learn all about them when you come out to the ELC. But next, let's go find a black mangrove. So another kind of mangrove is the black mangrove. It typically is in the water a little bit, and it has a very special root system called pneumatophores. They actually pop up out from the ground, and you'll get a close-up look of that when you come out. But remember, all mangroves have propagules, that special seedling. Take a look at what the black mangrove propagule looks like. It's very different from the white mangrove propagule. The black mangrove propagule kind of looks like a lima bean, whereas the white mangrove propagule looks more like a raisin. The last kind of mangrove, the red mangrove. Is that what you guessed? It actually grows right in the water. It also has a special root system. And remember, since all mangroves have propagules, it has a very special propagule. Kind of almost looks like a long, skinny pencil. Look at how loaded down this tree is with propagules. All of these propagules are eventually going to become trees. They already have the very beginnings of a root structure and even the very beginnings of a leaf structure hidden by the fruit. And because all mangroves are plants, what do we call them? Producers. Is that what you said? So we call them producers because they are in the sunlight and they photosynthesize, create their own food. One of the things that we'll be looking for on your trip are crabs. There are 3 different kinds of crabs that you might get a chance to see here at the ELC. And pretty much they're all scavengers in some form or the other. These are fiddler crabs. The males are the ones with the really big claws, and the females have 2 small claws. You might get a chance to see them when you come out. Welcome to one of my favorite spots on campus. This is called Carol's Classroom. And when we come to Carol's Classroom, we're actually going to do a scientific demonstration about detritus and soil. Have you ever heard the word detritus before? It's basically all the leaves that fall off the trees, they fall down and they decompose. And what happens is you get this really rich, organic, stinky mud. And we're going to do a demonstration with this rich organic mud when you come out. But if you take a close-up look, you can see lots of decaying leaves in that mud. Now, detritus is a part of soil. And soil is the stuff under my feet. We're not really studying dirt. That's the stuff you find under your fingernails. Look, a mangrove tree crab. This is another one of the crabs that you just might see when you come out to the ELC. Hey look, we found some coffee bean snails. Just like crabs, these guys are a kind of scavenger. These coffee bean snails love to eat that rich, stinky organic mud we were talking about, detritus. Another one of my favorite places here at the ELC. This is the Indian River Lagoon. Remember, even though its name says both river and lagoon, it really is a lagoon. It has brackish water, a mixture of salt and fresh, and the wind is what actually moves the water. There's no current per se. And if you look around, you see lots of mangroves all along the shoreline, jumping fish, dolphin, who knows what you might get to see out here. But remember, the Environmental Learning Center is on a little island, and we're actually surrounded by the Indian River Lagoon. And that's what makes this habitat especially unique for the critters that live here. During the field trip, when you get here, this is where we play a really fun game called the energy game. I don't want to give away all the fun right now, so teachers, now's a great time for you to pause the video and do that prep activity that you found online on our website. How'd it go? Did you learn the words producer, herbivore, carnivore, omnivore, scavenger, and decomposer? Good job. We'll be using those words a lot on our field trip.
Hi, this is going to be one of your favorite stops during your ELC field trip, Marty's Hut for lunch. This is where you're going to stop and replenish the energy that you've been using throughout the day, and also to get more so that you can continue your field trip. So you're either going to get a lunch from school, check with your teacher, or else you're going to pack your lunch. Whichever way you do it, we want to see if you're up for the ELC Waste-Free Lunch Challenge. And that means at the end of lunch, we're going to sort your recyclables, compost, trash, aside from things that are going to go back home, and we're going to see which class has the least amount of trash. Doesn't mean you get to take your trash home. It's not about just one day. It's something we want you to do every day. We want to make sure that those landfills don't grow quite so large so fast. So, again, if you have a lunch from school, check with your teacher and you're set. If you're going to be packing a lunch from home, ask to see if you can help whoever it is that packs it. One great way to do it is put it in a reusable lunchbox. That way you can reuse it all year long. Need a drink? Use a reusable container. Sandwich or crackers and cookies, you can use reusable containers for all of those things. Grapes, carrots, you're going to bring pudding or applesauce, bring a real spoon that you can take back home, wash and reuse. And instead of a paper napkin, how about a cloth napkin or a bandana? You can take that home, wash it, and reuse it hundreds of times. All of these items can be washed and reused. All right, so now you've had your lunch. Let's talk about where the leftovers are going, because you've eaten all the energy. So if you have that lunch box, again, all these items, they're going to go home, get washed, and reused. But maybe you have some other wrappers from your lunch. Maybe your lunch came in a paper bag, whether it's a white paper bag, a brown paper bag. When the paper bag is empty, if you're not going to take it home, that goes in our recycle bin. Maybe your lunch came in one of these type of bags. These are great to take home and reuse. They can also be taken to grocery stores and recycled. Some other things that might go in our recycle bin, if you have any type of a plastic container, look for the bottom and you'll see a triangle. If it has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, and it's empty, those can go in the recycle bin. Same thing, maybe you have a glass bottle that your drink came in. When it's empty, that also goes in the recycle bin. Also, milk cartons will be going in here as well, and aluminum foil. When it's empty, that goes in the recycle bin. Now, some people have things like drinks or snacks that come in a wrapper that looks like aluminum foil, but this has a wax coating on it. So when these are empty, they go in the trash container. If you have that cloth napkin, remember you could take that home and reuse. Paper napkin, when you're done with that, that goes in the trash. Maybe you have your lunch in one of these type of bags. Take these home, wash and reuse. Otherwise, those go in the trash. And maybe you have some apples, oranges, grapes, carrots. Remember the word you learned before, producers? Well, any producers that you have for lunch, when you eat the good part, the remains can get composted. So we take our leftover fruits and vegetables, we can mix it with some dead leaves, add some decomposers, and they'll turn that leftover material into really rich soil for the plants or the producers. So when you're done with your apple cores, those go in there, your banana peels. And hey, if you have some raisins that you're not going to eat or take back home, empty those raisins into the compost bin. Get them all out. We don't want them on the ground. And then the empty box can get recycled. So remember, think about recycling, reducing the amount of trash you have, reusing items, and about composting. We hope you're up for the ELC Waste-Free Lunch Challenge.
Welcome to our stormwater pond. This is one of the most exciting parts of your adventure here at the ELC. Here you get to actually wade into the water and collect animals with a net and learn all about their life cycles. It is very important that you wear closed-toed old sneakers that you don't mind getting wet. We also try to avoid touching the animals with our hands so that we don't wipe their protective mucus off. This is a dip net. There are two main ways to collect animals with a dip net. The first method is called the scoop method, and the second method is called the S method. Now with the scoop method, you simply place the net in the water and wait for the fish to swim into the net and then quickly pick up the net. With the S-shaped method, you will make an arc out in front of your body and then pull the net towards you, making an S. With either method, it is very important that you carefully turn over the net into the bucket and avoid touching the creatures, again, so we don't wipe off their protective mucus. Okay, now let's try it. This is the scoop method. And this is the S-shaped method. Wow, check out all the cool creatures that we collected. Now we are going to head up to the pond laboratory. At these two tables, you will get to explore the animals that you collected with magnifying glasses and creature collectors, and also microscopes. Now it's very important when you pick up your creature peeper that you pick it up from the bottom so that the creatures do not escape and the water leaks out. Now at this side of the station, you will actually get to collect your own animals. We will give you a net, a magnifying glass, a creature collector container, and a Pond Life ID sheet. It's very important that we leave some water in this small container so that the animals can breathe. And then you carefully scoop up the animals, place them in your container without touching them again so we don't wipe off their protective mucus. And then you get to look at them up close and identify them. Wow, I just caught 4 mosquito fish. Hopefully you get to collect just as many creatures when you come out to the ELC.
So in order to prepare for your ELC field trip, you need to get a really good night's sleep the night before. Eat a really good breakfast. So even if you normally skip breakfast, don't skip it on the day of your ELC field trip. Wear clothes that you don't mind if they get kind of wet and dirty. And remember, no Crocs, no sandals, no flip-flops. You must have on closed-toed shoes. Teachers, please remember to give the kids sturdy, legible names tags. And you're welcome to bring up to 3 chaperones with you on your field trip. We look forward to you coming out on your field trip, but remember, it's free to come out and you can come on over anytime. We look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.